Welcome to the deep dive. So, modern mindfulness, it's just everywhere, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You can't escape it. Social media feeds, apps constantly buzzing.
Right. Promising inner peace on demand. And the market for it is apparently set to hit, what, $9 billion? It's huge.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it makes you pause and think, doesn't it? With all this energy poured into finding calm, are we actually finding it? Or maybe is something else going on underneath?
Exactly. Is it always about that genuine inner peace, or could it be sometimes more like a really well-packaged escape hatch?
A sophisticated way to sidestep things, perhaps.
Yeah. Think about, let's call her Sarah. We probably all know a Sarah, or maybe we are Sarah sometimes. She's a marketing manager, totally swamped, right? And her day is sort of punctuated by these little digital Zen moments.
The quick app meditation before tackling emails.
Yes. Or a 5-minute breathing thing squeezed between Zoom calls. Another hit of calm before trying to sleep. She's logging those mindful minutes very diligently.
Keeping track. The digital record.
But what if, instead of actually dealing with the source of the stress, the crazy workload, the demanding boss, whatever it is.
She's just using meditation like a high-tech emotional band-aid.
Exactly. It's just smoothing over the surface. And I think we've all felt that temptation, haven't we? That urge for a quick fix and escape from the pressure.
It's a very understandable impulse.
Yeah.
But that pattern, reaching for these easy access tools, it's quite revealing if you look at it from a certain, let's say, psychoanalytic perspective.
Bringing out the Freudian lens.
Well, you could argue this whole cultural obsession with mindfulness is maybe the visible symptom of deeper, maybe unconscious conflicts. Instead of wrestling with the discomfort, you tap an icon.
So it's like a redirection, a sublimation maybe, turning unacceptable feelings into something socially approved, like downloading a meditation app.
Precisely. It channels that energy away from impulses we might prefer not to acknowledge.
It makes you look sideways at the whole self-care movement then. Has it kind of quietly shifted into self-avoidance without us really noticing?
It's a valid question.
Like you see someone constantly posting about their yoga journey, looking so serene online, but you know they're buzzing with unaddressed anxiety underneath.
Or the colleague who's always dropping mindfulness quotes, but you can feel the tension, the resentment just simmering below the surface.
Yeah. Are these genuine acts of looking after yourself, or have they become these really elaborate performances to avoid facing something tougher?
And the language itself is fascinating, isn't it? Clear your mind, let go, be present.
Sounds gentle, positive.
On the surface, yes, but from that deeper viewpoint. Well, these phrases sound an awful lot like repression, don't they?
Pushing things away.
When you actively try to banish unwanted thoughts during meditation, are you truly processing them? Or are you just reinforcing a habit of avoidance, but, dressed up in spiritual clothes?
Like telling someone anxious to just stop worrying. It rarely works. Might even make it worse.
Exactly. And it's interesting, some research actually hints at this. It suggests that maybe counterintuitively, too much meditation, or certain kinds, can sometimes increase anxiety.
Really? How does that work?
Well, one idea is that by constantly trying to suppress natural emotional responses, aiming for this artificial imposed calm, you might inadvertently create what psychoanalysis calls secondary gains from the anxiety itself.
Secondary gains, like the anxiety becomes useful somehow.
In a way, the unease becomes a reason to avoid difficult things. And the meditation practice becomes the socially acceptable excuse, the mechanism for maintaining that avoidance.
Wow. Okay. So where else do we see this playing out?
Oh, everywhere. Think about dating apps. People swiping, hoping to manifest the perfect partner, maybe doing their mindfulness exercises alongside it.
Right. Trying to stay positive and detached.
It can become less about genuine connection, which is often messy and uncomfortable, and more like a kind of sophisticated wish fulfillment, trying to control the outcome, avoid rejection. It's almost a modern form of magical thinking, really.
Disguised as self-improvement. And corporations, they've totally jumped on this.
Huge trend. Mindfulness workshops, meditation rooms.
But often, instead of fixing the actual problems, right, the impossible deadlines, the toxic culture.
Exactly. It's a very clever redirection. Let's help employees find inner peace rather than, say, address the unsustainable workloads that are causing the stress in the first place.
Manage the symptoms, ignore the disease. It's probably not a coincidence these programs boom alongside burnout rates.
Probably not. And then there's our online life, how we curate this image of the mindful self.
Oh yeah, the perfect meditation corner on Instagram, bragging about the streak on the app.
Collecting likes for our supposed spiritual depth. The ego just finds a new playground, doesn't it?
It's another mask, projecting tranquility while maybe hiding deep insecurities.
Precisely. Which brings us back to the personal level. It really makes you reflect on your own practice, doesn't it?
It does. Like, the last time you sat down to meditate, were you genuinely seeking peace, or was there maybe something specific you were perhaps unconsciously trying to dodge?
An awkward conversation, their big, scary project. Or maybe just the raw discomfort of being alone with your own unfiltered thoughts.
Every time we choose the cushion over, say, direct engagement with a problem, there's a subconscious choice happening there. What are we willing to face, and what are we subtly avoiding?
And the irony of using technology, often the source of the anxiety, as that tool to find relief via these apps.
It's just,
There's a
oh my God.
perfect loop, a digital snake eating its own tail. We're tracking spiritual progress with data points, quantifying the soul.
Our ancestors sought enlightenment, maybe. We're chasing longer streaks. It's different.
So the core tension seems pretty stark. Meditation, which is meant to connect us with reality, see things clearly.
Can very easily become this highly sophisticated mechanism for avoiding that same reality.
We might have turned the spotlight inward, but maybe angled it carefully to keep the really uncomfortable stuff in the shadows.
Exactly right. Imagine Freud or someone applying his framework looking at mindfulness app reviews today.
What would they see?
Not just the 5-star rating for calm. They'd be hunting for the hidden text. That review praising instant calm. Maybe that hints at a deep fear of losing control. And complaints that a meditation didn't work.
Could signal resistance. Resistance to facing something difficult within oneself. Our relationship with these tools, like dreams, is packed with unconscious clues.
And that whole clear your mind thing. It really does sound like modern repression when you put it that way.
Doesn't it? Actively trying to suppress the uncomfortable thoughts, the unwanted feelings, the very stuff that, from this perspective, needs to be surfaced and understood.
We've basically packaged suppression, put a soothing voiceover on it, and sold it back to ourselves as wellness.
And think about anger in mindfulness circles. The advice is usually breathe through it, observe it non-judgmentally.
Which sounds helpful.
But Freud saw aggression as a fundamental drive. Just observing it might not resolve it. That energy has to go somewhere. It might just get redirected in less conscious, maybe less healthy ways.
Like passive aggression masked by mindful smiles.
Could be. Or maybe it gets turned inward. And projection. That feels so relevant here.
How so?
Well, notice how often the mindfulness narrative frames the external world, the job, the city, the notifications as the primary source of stress. Mindfulness is the shield.
Right, it's the world that's chaotic, not necessarily me.
It's a convenient deflection, isn't it? We take our internal conflicts, our anxieties, and we sort of plaster them onto our surroundings. Then meditation becomes the fix for these external problems, which might actually stem from within.
And that immediate reach for the app when anxiety flares up.
Classic pleasure principle, avoidance of pain. It's not always a deep spiritual dive. Sometimes it's just seeking immediate comfort, a quick hit of calm, like needing reassurance.
Even the obsession with the stats, the minutes, the streaks, the badges.
Ah, yes, the quantification. From a Freudian angle, that looks like the ego desperately trying to assert control in a world that feels uncertain.
Measuring what can be measured.
Exactly. To avoid confronting the messy, unquantifiable depths of the psyche. Celebrating a 100-day streak feels safer than asking why you feel compelled to meditate every single day without fail.
And back to the corporate programs, that's sublimation in action, right?
A textbook example, potentially. Workplace frustrations, feeling undervalued, these get channeled into personal development via mindfulness. Resenting your boss becomes a mindful breathing exercise.
Anxiety about your career path becomes an opportunity for spiritual growth. It's efficient for the company, keeps things smooth.
Manages potentially disruptive emotions very effectively.
Could there even be like a darker undercurrent? You mentioned Freud. What about the death drive?
It's a complex concept, but one interpretation could see compulsive meditation's relentless pursuit of perfect stillness as a form of numbing, a retreat from the messy vitality, the struggles of life, towards a kind of non-being.
A self-sabotaging quest for calm that ends up creating more tension.
It's a paradoxical possibility, and transference is interesting here too.
How does that fit?
The soothing voice on the app, the guru figure, the trusted teacher. We can project our needs for guidance, maybe unmet needs from childhood, onto these figures.
We transfer our hopes and expectations, looking for answers externally instead of internally.
It can happen. We grant them authority, hoping they have the magic key.
And that instruction to observe emotions non-judgmentally.
Again, seems helpful, but it can become a way of keeping feelings at arm's length, observing from a safe distance instead of truly engaging, understanding the roots, processing it fully.
Emotional bypassing disguised as mindful awareness.
A sophisticated form of detachment, perhaps? And then there's the superego, the inner critic.
Oh, it loves mindfulness culture, doesn't it?
Finds fertile ground. The guilt over skipping a session, judging yourself for not being mindful enough during a stressful day.
That inner voice just gets new ammunition, new standards for perfection.
Reflecting that relentless drive towards an idealized, perfectly calm self.
So it really loops back to that core paradox, using the anxiety-fueling technology for anxiety relief.
It's a compromise formation in psychoanalytic terms. A way to partially satisfy conflicting drives, the need for stimulation and connection versus the desire for escape and calm.
And treating meditation like another metric, another performance goal.
Reveals those unconscious desires for perfection, for control. Each session logged is a tiny victory against the chaos.
Even the phrases we use casually, I'm trying to be more present.
Could be a subtle way to avoid dealing with past regrets or future anxieties.
I need to clear my mind.
Often masks a need for deeper emotional processing or conflict resolution.
Just letting it go.
Can sometimes be denial.
Yeah.
Pushing away uncomfortable truths instead of facing them.
And the social status thing, posting about your practice.
Oh, absolutely. It can become a modern phallic symbol almost, projecting spiritual superiority, the ego seeking validation, just in a different arena.
And identifying as a meditator.
Can be a form of identification, yeah. Managing internal conflicts by adopting this persona of calm, this external label.
And the little debates within the community. My app is better than your app. My technique is purer.
The narcissism of small differences. It's establishing subtle superiority, defining oneself against others, even within the same broad movement.
Even curating the perfect Zen corner, choosing the prettiest app.
Might be seen as libidinal energy transformed, redirected into these aesthetic, seemingly spiritual pursuits.
Wow. So, looking at it all through this lens, it's kind of unsettling. It suggests a lot of what we call mindfulness might actually be, well, sophisticated self-deception.
Aimed more at psychological comfort than genuine, sometimes painful self-exploration and growth. Challenges the narrative we tell ourselves.
And maybe the most telling part is our reaction to these ideas. If this conversation makes someone feel defensive or uncomfortable.
That reaction itself is incredibly significant, isn't it? It might point directly towards those unconscious motivations, the things we'd rather not examine too closely. As Freud might ask, when you meditate, who is really watching whom?
That's the question to linger on, isn't it? Maybe the real insights aren't just in the manufactured calm, but in the uncomfortable questions that bubble up when we poke at it.
Precisely. What lies beneath that carefully cultivated stillness? That's where the truly interesting stuff might be found.
A really provocative way to look at it. Join us next time on The Deep Dive as we